Hi. Gary Glitter, real name Paul Gadd, was released from prison after serving 8 years of a 16-year sentence for sexual offences against children. In this case, young girls. A glam rock star throughout the 70s and 80s, he'd also been in prison, deported from Thailand and Cambodia for identical offences. Were the directors of the BBC aware of Gadd's raping, abusing of children, as they were most certainly in the know about Sir Jimmy Savile, the UK's most prolific paedophile offender who was awarded high honours for his charity work? The cases of Gadd, Savile were historical, but there are still people in positions of power and influence who enabled them. To give the most glaring example, there's King Charles himself, who had Savile advising him about his failing marriage to Diana, Princess of Wales. The more you think about it, the more sinister it appears. Did he also advise Prince Andrew? And who were the victims? Vulnerable, powerless children from the lower orders, as they are today. Gadd, like other offenders, such as Rolf Harris and Jonathan King, are entirely unrepentant about their sex crimes against the young. And remember that in spite of just about everybody knowing about Savile being a serial sex offender, he was buried a national treasure. There have been protests by locals outside the bail hostel where Gadd is presently residing, which is near a housing estate and a number of schools. Serious riots developed some years ago when the multiple child murderer and rapist of vulnerable young boys, Sidney Cook, was placed in accommodation in a working-class area of Bristol. The chattering classes expressed themselves against this form of mob rule, with the perpetrator as some kind of victim himself. When these high-profile ultra-nonces are dumped in working-class areas, is it any wonder there are violent protests? It's a form of collective response to express disapproval and defend their children from predators, no matter how negative and reactive it appears to those judging from the outside. It's an incoherent attempt to grab back some dignity that has been denied to parents and children of the working class who are fed to these abusers by the system that oppresses us in every single aspect of our existence. Bye.